Happy Sunday, yogis. Can somebody just give me a thumbs up in the chat that you can hear me okay? All right. I'm going to start our video live. I'm going to stream also to Facebook for anybody else that's joining us. No, we're starting. We're getting ready to start now, Travis. Sorry, I was getting us connected to Facebook, so I didn't see the chat. All right. Welcome, welcome. My name is Candace, and I'll be guiding you through the next 60 minutes of our gentle oasis yoga. I've got my blocks. Feel free to grab any other blankets, bolsters, whatever you'll need during your practice. I'm going to keep my lights down because I'd like you to focus more on what's happening in your body versus being able to see what I'm doing with mine. So I'll do my best to describe to you everything it is that we need to do. For those of you that are joining on Zoom, if you'd like to turn your cameras on, that would assist me in maybe changing any of my cues to allow you to get better or more comfortable in your postures. But if you prefer to keep your camera off, that's totally fine. And for those on Facebook, just follow along as best as you can. So we're going to start in a comfortable position, lying down on our backs. If you would like to take a blanket and roll it up and place it under your knees, you can do that. Or you can just go ahead and lie completely down, flat on the back. And I want you to find your stillness as soon as you can in this posture. Maybe gently close down the eyes. You can let the heels fall open, the palms are facing up. And I want you to just slowly draw your navel to your spine and just gently press your low back down into the earth. Every part of your body that's touching into the earth, just imagine it grounding and rooting into the earth. Allow your body to really be heavy here. Begin to bring your awareness to your breath. I want you to slowly start to allow your breath to just slow down. We're just winding down our day here. Maybe you pick a number 3, 4, or 5, and you try to breathe into that number. And then as you exhale, maybe you exhale a second or so even longer. So this just, maybe by counting, it allows you to just slow down the breath. Maybe you were rushing, trying to get to your yoga mat on time. So just give yourself a moment to just settle into this space. The eyes are closed, low back is still pressing down into the earth. And you can keep your hands floating are just lying here on the side, or maybe you bring one hand to your heart, opposite hand to the belly, and begin to feel the connection of the breath, chest and belly rising and falling as you're breathing in and out. And let's take a brief moment here to set the intention for the practice. What is it that brought you to your yoga mat today? What is it that you're working on in your yoga journey? Our studio focus of the month is on a mantra. It is Aham Prema, and that simply means I am divine love. If you'd like to join me on this journey of thinking of yourself and all of the inner beautiful things, maybe being kind to yourself that goes along with what that means, I am divine love. Or if you'd like to set your own intention, go ahead and do so. Whatever that intention is, take a big breath in to breathe the intention deep into the heart. And then softly exhale to seal it in. If you had your hands on your heart and your belly, just go ahead and release the arms long on the mat. And then slowly begin to draw your right knee to the chest. Keep your left leg long and extended. Maybe the toes are flexed. If this is uncomfortable for you, feel free to go ahead and bend your left knee, bringing the bottom of your left foot to the mat. So you choose what's best for you here. And remember that this is your practice. So if there's something that I'm offering that's not quite resonating, be sure to honor it. Nice. So just gently tug this right knee into the chest. You might feel a little pinch at the top of the right hip. Beautiful. If you haven't already, go ahead and activate the Ujjayi breath. Create that constriction in the back of your throat. It might sound like a strong audible whisper inside of your throat, but this breath just reminds our central nervous system to just relax. It might allow us to soften in spaces where our bodies might be a little bit tight. Nice. You're still just breathing in and out of the nose, just drawing that right knee into the chest. Nice. Take a big breath in and a slow breath out. Nice. Let's gently release that leg long on the mat. And then we're just going to interchange the legs. So go ahead and extend the left knee. Sorry, right leg is extended long, left knee is at the chest. Nice. Again, if you need to bend your right knee, go ahead and do so, placing the bottom of that foot. If your leg is extended, you can flex your right foot if you want to activate your hamstrings and your left legs. Oh my goodness, in your right leg. Sorry, guys. The left knee is still at the chest. You might notice with each exhale that you're able to draw it closer down towards the chest. Nice. Breathing in and breathing out. Go ahead and release that left knee, and then let's draw both knees to the chest. If grabbing around the knees isn't accessible, go ahead and grab the backs of the legs. And maybe it feels good to just gently rock side to side. Notice what's feeling a little tight in that low back. You can even just place your hands on the tops of your knees and just do big circles with those knees. Nice. Going in both directions. Take a big breath in and a slow breath out. Go ahead and find your stillness, and we're going to come into our first twist. Release your arms out to the side. You can bend the arms if you need to, if that's better for your shoulders, whatever feels good. We're going to come over to the left side first, so breathe in. Exhale, drop the knees over to the left side. If you have blocks, it might feel good to place them in between the legs. Don't focus so much on trying to draw the shoulders down here. This is our first twist of the practice. Just notice What areas might be a little tight here? We're going to come back to this at the end of practice. And my hope is that you've been able to release in some of those areas. Nice. One more breath here. And let's slowly bring those knees to the center. And then we're dropping the knees over to the right side. Moving as slow as you need to. Bringing that block over to the right side. Same thing here. Don't worry about the shoulders if they don't come all the way down to the mat. Nice. You've got 2 more slow, deep breaths. And then let's bring those knees back to the chest. So you're coming back to the center. Knees are at the chest, and just give them a slight little tug here. And then some of you are going to start to rock forward and back until you can find yourself sitting up. And others are just going to make your way up to a seated position. So you do what feels best for your body. Just find yourself in a seated position. Go ahead and cross those legs. If crossing your legs is too much on your knees, I want you to extend your legs out in the front, or you just stay here with your knees crossed. Nice. And you might even rock gently side to side so that you can remove that bottom flesh. I really want your sit bones rooted into the earth. Notice what's happening with your shoulders. If you're sitting with your shoulders really scrunched up towards your ears, I want you to just gently relax them down. Sit up tall. Maybe squeeze the backs of the shoulder blades together. Push the chest out as you just lengthen the spine. And we'll slowly begin to warm up the shoulders. So inhale, reach your fingertips out to the side, then up towards the sky. Exhale, bring the palms to touch and bring them down to the heart center. Let's keep going. Inhale, reach out and up, palms touch. Exhale, down to heart center. Keep flowing. Inhale, really reach and extend. Chest is still lifting. Exhale, hands down to heart center. This time we're going to reach the fingertips out and up, and we're just going to leave the fingertips reaching. You can bend the elbows if you need to, but just keep the chest nice and lifted. Shoulders are down, so don't try to scrunch the shoulders up towards the ears. Relax the shoulders. And then gently turn your torso to the right side. And then place your left hand on the outside of your right knee. Then place your right hand behind you, so we're in a twist. So right hand is on the right knee. Sorry, Travis, I'm looking at you. Your left hand is on your right knee and the right hand is behind you. There you go, nice. Now use your back hand to lift your chest. And then you're going to twist from your torso. So a lot of times when we're twisting, we like to just turn our head behind us. I want you to let your twist come from your navel, your torso. So keep using that back hand to help you push your chest up to lift, suck the belly in, and then twist from the belly. You have nice soft shoulders. And then when you come to your full expression of your twist, you feel like you can't twist at the belly anymore, then take your gaze back behind your right shoulder. Take a big breath in and a big breath out. Nice. One more. Breathe in and out. Let's slowly release, returning our torso back to center. Place your right hand on the right knee, palm is up, left hand on left knee. Take a breath in. Open your mouth, push out the air. Good. Come back to your Ujjayi breath, and let's come back to the shoulders. So inhale, reach arms out and up. Palms touch, down to the heart center. Arms out and up. This time, let the fingertips reach. Find the length in the spine. You're lifting the chest. Shoulders are drawn down. We're now turning the torso over to the left side, and then we're gonna come into our twist. So drop this right hand to your left knee, and then the left hand comes behind you. Just go ahead and draw the navel to the spine, nice soft shoulders, pressing and lifting the chest as you breathe in, and then twisting at the belly as you exhale. Nice. And you're gonna do that a few times, lifting up, and then twisting at the belly, and eventually taking the gaze behind the left shoulder. Keep pressing your sit bones down into the earth. Don't forget to breathe. And then we're slowly going to release, coming back to center. So with the nice lifted chest, I want you to place your hands on your space, so in front of your mat. So your hands are directly on the floor in front of you. Now, some of you are just going to be able to walk your fingers forward just a little bit. I want you to pretend that I'm there and I'm pulling your shoulders back. So you're just starting to walk your hands forward with a nice flat back. Just taking your time, walking forward, nice flat back. You're going to start to feel this in your outer hips, maybe the low back. And just come forward as far as you can without compromising that nice flat back. You don't want your shoulders hunched forward. If your feet are open wide away from each other, you're just walking your hands down the middle of your space. Focus on the Ujjayi breath, in and out of the nose, allowing yourself to soften. Hips and low back might be talking to you a little bit. Good. Now, if you haven't rounded your shoulders forward already, go ahead and just round the shoulders forward and walk those hands as far forward of your space as you can. Maybe you drop your head. If you have a block, this is a great opportunity to place that block directly underneath your forehead. Nice. We're going to come into a side body stretch. So slowly start to walk your fingertips over to the right side. Keep your left hip rooted down, and you're walking fingertips over to the right. Your chest is hovering over your right thigh. If your left hip is lifting, I want you to back out of this stretch just a little bit. That just means that you're coming too far over. But you should really have a nice opening happening on the left side of your body. Go ahead and drop your forehead. Feel this opening on this left side. Slowly breathing in and slowly breathing out. Nice. Taking your time, I want you to walk your hands back through the center of your space, and then we're going to walk over to the left side. Root that right hip down. Chest is hovering over the left thigh. Dropping the head whenever you're ready. Just slowly breathing in, then slowly breathing out. Good. Now we're going to walk those hands back through the center. And we've created a little space, hopefully, in the hips and the low back. And you might be able to walk your hands forward just a little bit more. And then I want you to take your time, just slowly start to walk the hands back towards the knees. We're sitting up tall. Place your right hand on the right knee, left hand on the left knee, palms are up. Nice lifted chest. Take a cleansing breath. Breathe in and out. Good. From here, we're going to either roll over the knees to come into tabletop all fours, or you're just going to uncross your legs and come into all fours. Your knees are about 6 to 8 inches apart. Your hands are spread really wide on the mat. And if you're feeling wobbly, I want you to curl the toes. Otherwise, the tops of the toes are flat on the mat if you feel like you've got some pretty good balance right now. From here, I want you to allow your belly to drop down towards your mat. You're lifting your sit bones back and you're lifting your chin up. You should have a nice opening across the front of your chest coming into cow. Then tuck your chin to your chest. Curl your upper back, really press your palms into the mat. You're arching your upper back like an angry cat. Drop your belly, spread your sit bones, lift the chin. Exhale, round the spine, arching the upper back like an angry cat. Nice. Keep flowing. Inhale, belly drop, spread the sit bones, chin lifts. Exhale, round the spine. Nice. I want you to come to a neutral spine, so a nice flat back here. And you're going to keep your knees exactly where they are. And I want you to start to, your knees are where they are and your hips are directly over your knees. And I want you to start to walk your palms towards the top of the mat. And maybe you can bring your forehead down to the mat. Some of you are going to be able to bring your chin down, and some might even be able to bring their chest. So you're coming into puppy pose. Remember to keep your hips directly over your knees, and you're just walking your hands forward and letting your upper body sink down into the mat. Take a big breath in and a bigger breath out. Nice. Now go ahead and lift your head, and then I want you to just walk forward, walk your hands forward so that you can lie down onto your tummy. And when you lie down, I want your elbows, so you're kind of lifting your upper body up just a little bit. So your elbows are bent and they are planted down on the mat, and your fingertips are reaching towards the top. I want you to slide your big toes together and really press your elbows down into the mat. And you're lifting your chest up, almost like you're trying to shine your chest forward. So we're coming into Sphinx pose. Nice. Maybe you turn your head to the left, try to gaze back so that you can, in your peripheral vision, see your left toes. You should have a little stretch here on the right side. And then let's turn the head to the right, trying to gaze towards the right toes this time. And there's still this lift of the chest because you're digging the elbows and pressing the palms down. Nice. And then slowly bring your chin back to the center. So you're looking straight ahead. And then I want you to go ahead and lie all the way down on your tummy. So lower the chest down and keep your palms directly underneath your shoulders. Your forehead is facing down. And we're going to start by, there's going to be just a gentle lift of your right toe. So just gently lift your right toe. Pretend that I'm there and I'm just pulling your right toe behind. You're trying to ring a doorbell. So you're just lifting the right side just for a moment. And then slowly lower that toe down to the earth. We're going to do that again, but maybe this time you lift your left hand at the same time as you're extending your right toes behind you. And then you'll slowly lower everything down to the earth. Let's do that again. Breathe in, lift left hand, extend right toes. And then bring everything down to the earth. Nice. On your next breath in, we're going to reach the left toes back. We're holding for a breath. and then slowly release. This time we're going to incorporate the right hand. So breathe in, lift the right hand, reach the left toes back, and then release everything down. Same thing. Inhale, lift, left toes, right palm. Everything comes down. From here, I want you to push your hips back to your heels. So go ahead and push your hips all the way back to your heels. We're going to come into our first child's pose. Maybe you start to walk your knees wide. And I want you to focus on keeping your sit bones connected to your heels. If you have a blanket, this is a great place to place this blanket behind your hips. And then slowly start to walk your hands forward to the top of your mat or your space. But hands are just coming forward as far as you can without compromising that connection between your sit bones and your heel. And then let your forehead come down. If this is too much pressure on your shoulders, you can reach your arms behind you and grab onto your ankles, but just let your forehead melt down to the earth. Nice. Take a big breath in and a slow breath out. If you took your hands behind and grabbed onto your ankles or your feet, let's slowly walk those hands back to the top. So everybody has their hands at the top of their mat. Hips are sinking back to the heels. And I want you to pretend that you're trying to claw at your space with your fingers. So you're cupping your fingers. So palms are up, fingertips are down, and I want your elbows lifted off of the mat. So you should really feel this in your shoulders here. Elbows are nice and lifted. Your forehead is down to the earth or on a block. Nice. Take a big breath in and a slow breath out. One more. Breathe in and out. Nice. Go ahead and drop your elbows and then bend your elbows so that you can interlace your fingers behind the base of your neck. So forehead is down, elbows are bent, fingertips are interlaced behind the base of your neck. Now just notice what's happening with your elbows. Some of you, your elbows are probably really pointing out towards the outside of your mat. I want you to start to inch your elbows in towards your ears so that it's almost as if you're squeezing your ears with your arms. And then if your shoulders allow you to, I want you to inch your elbows towards the top of the mat. So you're still squeezing the ears with the arms, and then you're inching the elbows towards the top of the mat. So you're really getting into the shoulders here. Nice. Take a big breath in and a slower breath out. One more. Breathe in and out. Nice. Let's slowly deconstruct. So go ahead and release your hands towards the top of the mat. We've been here for a while, so go slowly pull yourself up into tabletop all fours, walking the knees closer together. Nice. And it might feel good to just gently rock the hips side to side. Nice. Then let's find our stillness here. On your next breath in, shoot your right leg back. Flex your toe down towards the earth. From here, I want you to bend your knee, bringing your forehead towards your knee and your knee towards your nose. Then shoot that leg back and gaze towards the top of the mat. Nice. Let's do that again. Bend the knee, so draw the knee towards your nose and try to bring your forehead towards the knee. And then shoot the leg back. Nice extension. We're gonna bring that knee forward one more time. So bend that knee, bring it forward. This time, I want you to bring your foot in between your hand. Some of you may have to lift your right arm to bring that foot forward. Nice. Now we're going to come into a lunge. So I want you to start to inch your right toes towards the top of the mat. Make sure that you give yourself some space. And then lift the chest. Bring the hands to the knee. Notice where your knee is in relation to your ankle. We're going to sink down into our hips. And when you sink down into the hips, I want to make sure that your knee is not extended beyond your ankle. Yeah. Nice. This is, if your hips are really tight, you can bend and straighten in the leg a few times. Travis, walk your foot forward just a little bit. That right foot. There we go. Nice. Now some of you are going to stay here with your hands at your knees. Others might bring your hands to the heart center, palms pressing into one another. And keep lifting the chest. Pretend that I'm there and I'm pulling your chest back. Your hinge is coming from the hips, not from you leaning your torso forward. Hands can stay at knees, hands can stay at heart center. You can also float the fingertips up towards the sky. If you float fingertips up, make sure that your shoulders are down and not scrunched up towards your ears. Take a big breath in and a slow breath out. Slowly bring your palms down to frame your foot. I want you to curl your left toes. You're going to lift your left knee. And some of you are going to take several steps forward, and others are just going to take one big step forward. So you're going to step your left foot forward to meet the right, and you're hanging in a forward fold. Nice. This is our first forward fold. So maybe you rock forward and back, forward into the ball of the foot, back into the heel. And eventually, I want you to really plug your big toes down and shift your body weight forward into the ball of the foot. Notice that shift in your hips, and they're lifting up towards the sky. I want you to really drop your head. Your fingertips can just dangle down towards your toes. You can also just gently rock those fingers side to side. Do what feels best here for your body. But just really allow your forehead to be heavy here. The longer you stay in this fold, the more lengthening you'll find in your spine. I like to bend my knees a little bit so that my belly is resting on my thigh. Keep shifting the body forward into the ball of the foot. And wherever you are, I want you to just release those fingertips down towards your toes. Find your stillness. Tuck your chin to your chest. And we're going to roll up very slowly. And as you start to roll up to standing, really press those feet firmly into the earth, keeping the chin tucked to the chest, and then slowly stand all the way up. Release the palms to your sides. Shift forward into the balls of the feet again. Take a big breath in. Open your mouth, exhale. Nice. Now we have to do the opposite leg. So we're standing at the top of our mat. We're going to sweep our fingertips out to the side, then up towards the sky. Now fold forward. You can swan dive or just you can just swan dive or fold forward, whatever feels good. And then slide your hands halfway up your legs to do a nice half lift. I want your back really straight. Hands are on knees, shins, whatever feels best here. And then slide those hands back down the legs. Bend your knees so that you can bring your palms to the earth. And then take a big step back with your right foot and lower that right knee. And look at what's happening with your left knee. Is your knee extending beyond your ankle? If so, I want you to slide the left toes forward, and then we'll slowly lift up into this lunge. You can bend and straighten a few times into this knee, keeping the torso lifted up. Good. And eventually find your stillness and just sink down into this left knee. Hands can stay at the knees. Hands can come to heart center, or you can float them up like you did on the opposite side. Good. You've got one more breath. We're going to slowly bring the palms down. Curl your right toes. Lift your right knee. And then you're going to step the right foot forward all the way to the top. Again, you might have to take little small steps, or you can do one big step, but you're back at the top of your space in a forward fold. This time I want you to do something different with your hands in this forward fold. So it might feel good for you to grab the backs of your legs and try to draw your forehead closer to your knees, your shins. It might also feel good to bend your elbows and interlace your palms behind your low back. And then maybe you extend those arms up. Knuckles are lifting up towards the sky. You choose what's best here in this fold for you. Wherever you are, release those fingertips down to the earth. Tuck your chin to your chest. And let's slowly roll up one vertebrae at a time. Take a big breath in. Open your mouth and exhale. Nice. We're going to slowly make our way back down to the earth. So go ahead and inhale, reach arms out and up, palms touch. Swan dive or bow all the way down to the earth. Come back to your forward fold. Slide the hands up the legs. Come to a half lift. Release to a fold. Bend your knees. Big step back with the right and the left. You're in a plank. We can go ahead and lower our knees. And elbows are pointing directly behind you. And we're just going to bend at the elbows to lower our upper body all the way down to the earth. Go ahead and turn your head to the left. Arms are long down by your hips. Toes are pointing behind you. Just take a moment placing the right ear on the mat so you're turning to the left. And then go ahead and flip the head, turn the head to the right. And then go ahead and bring your forehead to the mat. Slide those palms back underneath your shoulders. And we're going to do that back strengthening that we did before. So we're going to start by extending the right leg back and lift the left hand. And then slowly release everything to the mat. This time we're going to lift the left toes and the right palm. And then release, alternating back to the right. So inhale, lift, right toes, left palm. Release everything down. And then alternating back to the left toes and the right palm. Slowly release everything down. Let's push back into a child's pose. Find that heel to sit bone connection. Walk the hands forward. Knees can be as wide as it feels good, and allow the forehead to come down. Take your time, go ahead and sit up. And then you're just gonna drop your hips to one side and swing those legs around. Extend them long in front of you. It might feel good initially to just kind of shake out the legs. But then I want you to find your stillness. We're gonna open our feet as wide as our mats. And I want you to notice what's happening with your shoulders. If shoulders are rounded, I want you to just push your sit bones down, lift your chest, squeeze the shoulder blades together, and sit up tall. Really flex your toes towards your nose. You're pressing the backs of both legs down into the mat. So you should really feel this on the backs of both of your legs. And you're just sitting up tall. Take a big breath in and out. Nice. Now from here, go ahead and bend your right knee and place your right foot on the inside of your left thigh. Nice. And then turn your torso towards your right foot. Reach those fingertips out and up. And with a nice flat back, hinge forward and try to grab onto your shin, your knees, your ankle, maybe the toe. But don't compromise that flat back. Keep flexing the left toes towards the nose. Good. And if you haven't already, go ahead and round the shoulders forward. You might be able to reach a little bit further. It might even feel good to bend that left knee to help you grab onto your toes. And as we're staying here, you might be able to push that foot away from you to come deeper into your stretch. So you choose which way works best for your body tonight. You've got 2 rounds of breath here. One more. And then take your time, release whatever you have, and we're gonna sit up tall. Bring the torso back to center, and then just interchange the legs. So the right leg comes out, you're bending the left leg, the foot is on the inside of the right thigh. Don't forget to sit up tall. We're turning the torso towards the right, and we're gonna inhale, reach the fingertips up, and then hinge forward with a nice flat back. Maybe starting at the shins or the knee, but don't compromise the nice flat back. Right toes are really curled towards your nose. Continue to fold. When you're ready, slowly start to release. Walk those hands back up the legs, sitting up tall. And then just extend both legs out in front of you. We'll start by maybe shaking them out just for a moment. And then find your stillness. Maybe rock those hips side to side. You want to really sit on those sit bones. Flex the toes towards the nose. Sit up tall. Same thing as we did before. So toes are together. Big toes are together. We're going to reach towards both feet at the same time. But we're going to start by just activating the legs, pressing the backs of the legs down into the earth. And then let's breathe in, reach the fingertips out and up. And then with a nice flat back, start to fold forward. You might not be able to reach as far, but we'll keep this flat back for a few breaths. Keep pressing the legs down. Beautiful. And then when you're ready, go ahead and start to just round forward. Maybe you'll be able to grab the toes this time. And when you're ready, just slowly take your time and rise. If you need to, you can go ahead and shake out those legs. And then just make sure that you are sitting in the middle of your space and you don't have anything behind you, because we're going to lie down on the back. But to get there, I want you to reach your fingertips towards your toes. Your arms are at shoulder level. Tuck your chin to your chest, and then just slowly roll down all the way onto your back. Little brief Shavasana here, just keeping the fingertips reaching down towards the toes, pressing your low back into your mat. Now gently bend your knees, bring the bottom of your feet to the mat. Knees are pointing up towards the sky. Now we're going to come into 3 rounds of bridge. If you just like to go straight to restorative and you have a block, go ahead and lift your hips up and place that block underneath your low back. Otherwise, if you don't have blocks, let's just do a few bridges. So press your feet down into the mat. Your chin is tucked to your chest, and you're just pressing your feet down as you lift your hips up. And then slowly start to release. Let those hips fall down, and we'll just pause for a moment. We've got 2 more of those, so when you're ready, inhale, lift those hips up. And then gently release them down when you're ready. If you have that block and you haven't gone to restorative bridge, go ahead and do so. Otherwise, we're going to stay here and lift. And then gently lower. If you have a block underneath those hips, just go ahead and rock side to side and remove that block. And meet us here with your low back pressing down into the earth. Start to inch your feet wide away from each other, so the feet are still on the mat, but you're starting to just inch them wide away from each other. The outer edges of your heels might be touching the edge of your mat. Take a big breath in. As you exhale, allow your knees to fall over to the right side. So you're going to feel this in your left hip flexor. If you'd like to lift your right foot and place it on top of your left knee to draw that knee down a little more, you can. But if your body's not ready for it tonight or today, just don't worry about it. You place that foot on top of the left knee, gently release it. And then everybody just brings those knees back to the center. And then we're going to drop them over to the left side this time. You can place the left foot on top of the right knee. And then we'll release, bringing the knees back to the center. And then let's give those knees a nice gentle tug. So knees are at the chest. wrapping the arms around the knees are not accessible, just go ahead and grab the backs of the thighs and then start to gently rock side to side. And we'll bring all movement to a close. Now from here, we're going to keep our knees bent, but we're going to bring our feet up towards the sky. So your knees are bent and they're pointing out to the side. Now, some of you are going to be able to grab onto your ankles. Some of you might be able to just hold on to your shins. Others might be able to grab onto your big toes, but we're coming into happy baby. I want your feet really flexed and pointing directly towards the sky. Nice. And it might feel really good to just rock side to side here as well. Just feeling those spaces in the back. You might even want to straighten one leg and the other. You can bring the soles of the feet together and then kick them back out. Just an opportunity for a little play here. Take one more round of breath. And then I want you to release your hands, but shoot those feet straight up to the sky. So we're coming into legs up the wall. If you'd like to place your hands below your sit bones or below your hips, you can, but keep those legs floating towards the sky. Your toes are flexed towards your nose. The more you curl your toes, the more activation on the backs of the legs that you'll feel. It might even feel good to flex and point the toes a few times. It might feel good to even roll out the ankles. You do what feels good here. We'll hold here for a few rounds of breath to give you an opportunity to try a few new things here. Nice. If you placed your hands underneath your sit bones, let's gently release them. And then we're going to come back to our twist. So I want you to bend your knees, bring them to the chest. It might feel good to just tug them one more time. And then release the arms out to the side. Take a big breath in. As you exhale, drop the knees over to the left. Now in this twist, if you notice that the backs of your shoulders are not on the mat, try to slide your right shoulder to the left. And you might find that you can bring your right shoulder down a bit more. Taking the gaze over towards the right. Drawing the navel to the spine. Noticing the changes in the body from the twist at the beginning of practice. Let's slowly bring those knees back to center. Let's reset ourselves by giving them another gentle squeeze. And then we'll release those arms back out to the side. Take a big breath in. As you exhale, drop the knees over to the right side. The left shoulder is lifting. Slide the right shoulder to the right side of the mat. So there's this scooch of the shoulders. If you slide to the right, it might allow you to place the back of the left shoulder down. Gaze over to the left. Navel to spine. Find that space where you might be able to send a breath to allow it to release. Nice. Now let's slowly release. We're going to bring those knees back to the center and go ahead and give them one more gentle squeeze. And then slowly release the legs long. The arms are long, reaching down towards the toes. The palms are up. We're coming into the most important posture of this practice, our Shavasana, our time of rest. Try to find your stillness, resisting the urge to fidget. The breath softens. Wiggle fingers and toes. Maybe gently rocking the head side to side. Bend the knees, bring the soles of the feet back to the earth. And then the knees come back to the chest. And then roll over to the left side, coming into a fetal position. Maybe allowing the left arm to serve as a headrest. The eyes are closed. And just take this opportunity here to check in with your body. Notice the changes from the practice. And then slowly use your hands to go ahead and sit up. Finding yourself back in that seated position just as we started. Nice lifted chest, shoulders down and back. Bring the hands to heart center. Take a big breath in. And exhale. Take a gentle bow. Thumbs at the third eye chakra, the space in between our eyebrows. Bowing to ourselves and all of the yogis and yoginis practicing together today. Bowing to this opportunity to share. The divine light in me honors and acknowledges the divine light in each of you. Namaste. Thank you so much for joining me. My name is Candace. Hope you have a wonderful day. Thank you. Take care.